From politics to markets, when does the madness end? What's up, everybody? Welcome aboard to Bubba's Bottom Line for Sunday, July the 12th. Well, more than halfway through the year, and what a crazy year it is. And here we go again between the wacko markets and a NASDAQ that has been on a nonstop freight train to the continued ridiculous action of the politicians, especially the ones on the left side of the aisle that continue to try to take over the world. And you know, I think some of you should ask yourself the question, why do the uber wealthy want to see a Biden victory versus Trump? Or why do the uber wealthy continue to push their socialist or Marxist agenda? Okay. I mean, if you think back again, I know many of you don't want to look at history, but if you go back in history, that is how it starts, and that's how it ends up, with the very few on the very top of the food chain and the rest struggling, and the suppression of keeping people down. So again, obviously that's up to you, and I encourage you to vote. I don't care who you vote for. I want you to vote and get off your lazy ass and go out there and do something. But whether or not, again, I think you'd be making a mistake if you want to vote for socialism, because you look at the number one supporters of it, who really just want to relieve you of your cash, okay, who want to charge you more taxes than you already pay. So we want to destroy more American corporations and send them packing. We just got them back. We want to send them packing again. And of course, a two-time, soon-to-be three-time loser Joe Biden, okay, I think he was copying President Trump's last campaign speech about buy American and be American. I don't know. It sounded awfully familiar. But of course, we know that he has never had an original thought, which is why he's already a two-time, soon-to-be three-time loser. But in the meantime, again, you think about it. When you say, do I really want the uber wealthy telling me that I should be voting and supporting so that I can continue to suppress the poor people? Okay. I mean, you know, if you look at a little history, again, I know many of you are very short-sighted here, but if you look back at history, you will see that a lot of the issues we have today were created by the Obama administration. Okay, the setting back of minorities was a big part of the Obama administration, to put his thumb underneath them and keep them below the line and depending on the benefits. Cortez, the Squad, and that garbage group. Hey, look, like I said, you know the nice thing about being an American? You got the right to choose. Okay. But I hope and pray that not as many as you believe that they are actually your answer out, okay? Because they are not, right? But when will the markets, the end of the markets? Hey, nobody knows. Okay, are we in a bubble? Of course we're in a bubble. But what's the difference? When it ends, it ends. That'll be the deal, okay? I think we should be more concerned of the Chinese Communist Party's chemical warfare, okay, and their attempt to try to take over the world. I think that would be a bigger concern that we should be thinking about. Okay, you know, I think when you look back, I believe that this coronavirus was discovered in Wuhan back in October or September of last year. Okay, I believe that it was sent here intentionally. And I think you're hearing stories of that already. Now, again, does it mean that I'm 100% right? I have no idea. I'm giving you an opinion, but certainly it goes into their plan of wanting to be the world dominating power and take over. So how else can you do that unless you infect the entire world in a form of chemical warfare? Again, just a question. And of course, we've got the hotel occupancies down. Again, I don't think that's a surprise. I mean, did we think that they weren't going to be down after being shut down for 3 months? I mean, what I don't understand is the willingness to keep children out of school, the willingness to continue to destroy the economy, because again, when you have kids that are not in school, I mean, I don't understand if these people realize the damage you do to children that don't get to go to school. Okay. I mean, only the biggest social experience of their lives, learning how to live with other people at the prime learning years, because the words are is that you learn more between 0 and 5 than you learn the rest of your life. So again, I think when you're keeping these kids home, okay, and having them homeschooled by many that could not school themselves and yet are trying to educate our next generation. Okay, but again, that goes more to, again, this is a political hotbed right now, as you know. Okay, the coronavirus is not just about the virus, it's about politics. And it's a joke. Okay, it's an absolute joke that we are being forced, even in my great state of Illinois, the piece of crap that it is, with Pritzker, the garbage man of the world, still has most of the state shut down. It's now that they can now put in 25% people in their restaurant, and there's no way they can make a living there at 25%. You're going to have so many businesses destroyed, and what do they care? Now, again, we understand that the coronavirus has risk, okay? But is the risk any greater than anything else? And I think that it is for the older, pulmonary, obese, but those people should use their discretion before they do things. And I think if you did that, for 85%, coronavirus is no different than the cold or the flu, okay? And the 15%, okay, are people that would have a similar effect to catching the flu or the cold. And because what it relates to is it brings in a pulmonary disease, which is what eventually kills them, either pneumonia or whatever. So I think that high-risk groups, which should always be careful, whether it's the flu or whatever it is. But again, I believe that, again, this is a political hotbed, which, of course, I think you've got the two most wishy-washy, mediocre Birx and Fauci. Mask, no mask, mask, no mask, because it's a political football. Okay? Again, you can say whatever you want and you can disagree all you want. It is an obvious political issue. It has nothing to do with anything else but politics. That's the biggest crock of crap, because we go into why have we had such a spike in cases recently? Well, it could be because they were testing 100 times as many people. But of course, I read that, of course, it was because the spike in Oklahoma is because of the Trump rally. Okay. But nothing about the 40 major cities that had 20 or 30 or 50,000 people stacked on top of each other protesting. Did you hear about that? I haven't heard one issue about that. I've heard consistently about, well, the 6,500 people at the Trump rally are spiking cases, but I have not heard one word about all the protesting. I mean, quite frankly, I'm getting sick and tired of a movement that is politically driven by the left, by people like, I'll say, George Soros is probably behind this at some point. I will say that the overall setup here, I mean, de Blasio, you want to know how you destroy a city? Let Mayor de Blasio run your city, okay? And put some mural on the ground in front of Trump Towers, okay? Make sure you shut down the busiest city in the world, okay? So that you can destroy it and get rid of it. I mean, you gotta really look at some of this stuff and understand. And I think if you really took the time to put the politics aside and watch what some of these are doing, you might eventually agree with parts of it. But again, this is just, I mean, blinders on, okay? From the economy, from the stock market to the entire system. Everybody walks around with blinders. You know, you cannot discuss anything with anybody without it becoming a bloodbath about something else, okay? But I look at this whole setup as just a political battle of them trying to get the current president out. And again, if you really took the time to think about it, you can tell me all the stuff of why the president is no good. You can tell me every reason you want. But of course, you could also remember that a lot of these special lobbyist deals have been broken down. We have better deals. The economy is better than it's been, even with the forced shutdown, even with the left states trying to keep their big states shut down. So again, overall, you continue to see growth, but you have a lot of financed and paid protesters out there right now that are being financed by, of course, the people that want to get back to control of the government. And I'm not talking about the politicians. I'm talking about the money behind the politicians. I'm talking about the Bill Gates and Warren Buffetts of the world that don't like the position that they're in now, that they hold no power, which they used to hold. You know, again, if you go back, you had guys like that would donate equally to both sides to create favor with whoever won. Well, neither one of them did nor will donate to the Republican Party right now because, again, they want to get back to having control and getting what they got for having a say-so in what happens. Okay? And of course, the big story of the week is the commuting of Roger Stone and his sentence. And, it's unbelievable, okay, how there's so much energy spent against his sentence being commuted when he was convicted on a phony investigation, okay, from Mueller, from the Hillary Clinton, from the left. So all the charges derived from a phony investigation, okay, and he got charged and went to jail. So you think that his sentence should not be committed or commuted? Then you may have to be thinking about being committed. Again, it'd be one thing if the charges were real and they weren't fabricated. I mean, did you read what Peter Strzok had in his handwritten notes? Okay, did you read what they did? But of course, most of you or some of you probably don't care. You're probably happy because, of course, you would like to replace the guy in office, and you may support what they did. Okay, they broke the law. Okay, but just remember, okay, if it ever comes to you and they've got a FISA warrant to come and stick it up your ass, think how you'll feel then, okay? So, again, I warn you about being too passive about the things that are going on. And I warn you about your overall hatred for what and hope that you may not get what you're hoping for. Because, again, remember, as they say, the devil you know. In the meantime, this is Bubba's Bottom Line, Todd Bubba Horwitz, and we're going to step by here for a break, and we'll be back with our market coverage right after the break. So, kids, what's up? Listen, we got lots of good things going on. new partnership with Family Farms out of Missouri. And of course, we look forward to working with our farmers, and got an event coming up with them in the next couple of weeks, and really looking forward to hanging out and getting together with all the farmers, kind of help them hedge and do things this time of year, and obviously any time of year, but really now, because we had such a nice rally. And of course, our commodity reports, the quarterlies just came out, and are they phenomenal? Andy Heck did a marvelous job on these quarterlies. I mean, they're like reading a book, okay? But I mean, they are accurate, they are detailed, they give you options and choices of whether you want to use an ETF or the physical commodity to trade them. Again, Andy was at one time the number one silver trader in the world, and has traveled the world and lived all over the world trading physical commodities. You got to check it out. Go to BubbaTrading.com and check out Technomental. And of course, our brokerage partners, you know how I gush over them all the time. And again, as I always tell you, I have accounts other places. They're not my only brokers, but they're the ones that I prefer to use the most. And the first is for our futures and commodities, CTG Group. First of all, they handle our letter of direction trading, which means that letter of direction is just simply, you want somebody to execute for you, they get the order, they execute based on the letter that they're sent saying that they can do this and this only. They got some great new products themselves. And of course, Tradier for equities and options. Again, the first thing I say is it's $10 a month versus the 65 cents a contract you're paying now. So why not put the money in your pocket? Number two, they've got great customer service. Number three, we have their API, and as we automate more and more of our products, you can automate and trade for free through Tradier. Why wouldn't you want to? If you want, I got a special link for both Tradier and CTG. All you gotta do is email me at BubbaTrading.com. I'll send you their links. And of course, as we rebuild our high school program and start to work on it, all you have to do is reach out to me at patreon.com/Bubba Trading. That's Patreon, patreon.com/Bubba Trading. Now let's get back to Bubba's Bottom Line and the market update from last week. Welcome back. It is Bubba's Bottom Line. It is Todd Bubba Horwitz, and wow, what a week. Okay, now you all know our positions, right? We give you our positions each and every day. Okay. And again, it's amazing. But what I find amazing, okay, is all last week we were short the Dow, short the Russell, short the S&P, long the NASDAQ. But what I find amazing is that the NASDAQ went up more than the S&P, Dow, and Russell went down in equity. So we made net money in the equity portfolios, in the futures portfolios, by being net short, but the NASDAQ is sick, which means is when does that madness end? And I think what you have to remember, okay, is it's a fool's game to try to pick the top of the market. It's a fool's game to try to say that it's a bubble, because we know it's a bubble. There's no issue. Nobody is denying that we have a bubble. But a bubble is one that will pop when it is ready to pop, and it doesn't appear ready yet. Okay, so we'll see. Again, remember one thing. Okay, if you're patient enough, you will be able to recognize that when the bubble pops, and you will be able to benefit and join in. But if you continue to try to time or beat the market with your opinion, you will be busted before it happens, and you will miss the entire move. So we remain the same four positions. We have not changed. We will not be changing now until at least Tuesday. So what I'm telling you is that we did great. We made new highs in a couple of portfolios last week. But I'm telling you that again, it doesn't matter when it's time, it'll change. Okay? And that's as simple as I can put it. The metals markets were crazy. Okay? But again, fortunately, we are long gold. We are long silver. Both made dramatic moves last week from lows and really did well. And of course, we're still short platinum, which did not have quite the same week, which is good. But of course, we are actually officially going to add platinum to our models, okay, in two of them. In our two big ones, we're going to add platinum as a trade, okay? But in the meantime, so we'll be the same, and I think that gold's got a good chance to go to the all-time highs. Now again, there's going to be it's not getting there tomorrow. There'll be steps to get there. But I do think that this run may indeed get us there. And silver obviously is so far from all-time highs, but I could see silver moving potentially another 20% higher. But again, it will not be in one day, and it will be time as it grinds. But I believe the trend has a good chance to last that long. Oil, as much as I hate being oil, and you know that is a fact, it seems to me still that $40, $41 level is a challenge. We saw it break down harder on Thursday and come back on Friday. But again, look, we're still long. I will stay long until the algorithm turns. But, again, to me, this is probably pretty much towards the top. The only good news that I can report about oil is that I get to be, the stop that the algorithm produces is moving closer. So that'd be the only good news I can report from here. Although I am long it, so obviously that's not bad news either. The bond markets and notes, again, they're really in consolidation. But this week they had an up week. But basically they're just going sideways. I don't see anything, dramatic. I mean, again, I think bonds should be going and probably will be going a lot lower, as the demand for money continues to grow. These banks are going to sit down at these low rates. I mean, especially now that they have free reign and they can lend away without any restrictions. I mean, they're going to raise rates because they can get more. There's a demand for money, you can get more. So in the meantime, I think, again, we're long bonds. So hopefully they'll keep going up. Hopefully interest rates will keep going down. But I don't know. The dollar, we are still long. Pretty ugly, though. It looks like it's got a good chance to break through the bottom end, which was 95. Again, we've been long for a few weeks. We're also long the euro currency, so it's like a zero-sum game. But again, no excuse. They don't look good. Now again, you've got the pressure from the Fed, and why? One thing I can't understand, and maybe there's an economist out there who can give me an explanation, because I won't believe it, but I'll listen. Why is it beneficial to have a cheaper dollar? Okay, that's what I want to know. Okay, but of course the excuse is, or the answer always is, well, it makes it better for our exports. Well, if people need your product, they're going to buy it. Okay, we still have the best farm products in the country, in the world. Okay, so if they want our products, they're going to buy it, dollars or no dollars. And if the other countries would quit, maneuvering, okay, and manipulating their own currency, we might not have this problem. But of course, remember that the central banks are behind all this, which is the same as the Federal Reserve, and they don't care because they want to destroy currency. Because where they really want to get to, you got it, digital currency. So they can track you from the moment you are born to the moment you die and know every place you spent your money at. This is no secret. Again, I urge you to read The Creature from Jekyll Island. In the meantime, natural gas, a little bit higher last week. We reversed out in our long. Copper, wow. I mean, listen, obviously, strong copper, Dr. Copper, that's a good sign for the economy. Okay, I mean, that means that there's more building going on. So hopefully, look, we want a strong economy. And I don't mind if I have to reverse my positions and go from short to long in the equities. Again, I never care really which side I'm on. I've always got some sort of opinion, as you know, but I don't trade with my opinion. But because I'm on TV, I have to discuss my opinion. But again, I would love to see a big recovery. It wouldn't bother me one bit to get long everything. Okay. So again, but copper is a nice sign. I think you finally saw some great action in the grain markets. Now, unfortunately, we had a great move in corn, and unfortunately, we had to reverse Friday, okay, from long to short, which I like being long better right now, right, at these levels. Such a big down move, it triggered a reversal. Again, I think it won't be long, it'll be triggering it back the other way, but again, I don't argue with it, but I do like the action now. Okay, that's really what I'm saying. As we are long the grains now across the board, I think that, except for corn now, but I do think I like the action. I like the way we're starting to see some of the pricing come in. I'm liking to see some of the new money. And again, I think the shorts are going to continue to get pounded in here. So I think that it is a great sign and great action, and I'm thrilled to see it. Happy for the farmers. I'd like to see obviously much higher because they need a break. Okay, it's been so long since they've had a break, but they need one. And of course, meats. We remain long cattle, short hogs. Hogs made a nice move. They finally made that big move on Friday, so at least I got one right out of 2 weeks. But again, I think it'll be the same, but I do eventually think hogs will turn and we'll get it going. And I think just remember, okay, in markets themselves, this time is not different. It's always the same. And Robinhood is creating the environment of this time is different. This is a lot like 1999, but remember, it took to 2001 before the collapse came. So at the end of the day, remember, trade the market you have, not the market you want, and you'll be fine. In the meantime, this is Bubba's Bottom Line. Todd Bubba Horwitz. We're going to step out of a break and be back with my commentary right after the break. Bubba's Bottom Line. Well, kids, again, we talk about our brokerage partners all the time, and I think, again, I mean, for my money, as you know, I have other brokerage accounts, but CTG for futures and commodities, letter of direction trading, their own new products, customer service. How could I want anything more? Okay, I can't. They are phenomenal. Okay, and I enjoy doing business with them. They got great people there, very personable. They answer the phone. They got a lot of good products coming out. I urge you to check them out if you want to be with us. And again, not a requirement, but we'd certainly like you to check them out because they are good. And that's CTG Group, and you'll be able to get the information from me, and I'll give it to you in a minute. And of course, brokerage, equities, and options. Trade here. There's nothing like it. $10 a month flat. Again, I ask you this every day. Why would you want to pay more than you have to for the same thing? Plus, many of you I know, because I've done it, have called one of these other brokers and been stuck in voicemail jail for hours. Trader answers the phone. So again, I ask you, why would you not want to go to something better, faster, better customer service, and cheaper? Plus the fact that we have their API and we are tying in many of our automatic products to them. But hey, it's always up to you. You want any information, just email me at bubba@bubbatrading.com. And of course, Andy Heck's commodity report, unbelievable. You want to check it out? It's called Technicals and Fundamentals, bubbatrading.com. And of course, our new fun relationship with Family Farms. I can't wait till the next time we can actually get together. We had a Calcutta to raise money for charity. Can't wait to be with them again, and I can't wait to their big event in the next couple of weeks. That's Family Farms. And of course, don't forget about our high school program at Patreon, patreon.com/Bubba Trading. That's patreon.com/Bubba Trading. Now let's get back to Bubba's Bottom Line with me, Todd Bubba Horwitz. Welcome back. It is Bubba's Bottom Line. And of course, every week I have a big mouth anyways, but I do have my little bit of commentary. And of course, as we start to prep into, the new lives and the new election coming up. And of course, you've got, the potential for some debates. And of course, does anybody really believe that they will let Joe Biden debate Donald Trump? I would tend to say no. I would tend to say that they're going to keep him hidden in the basement, except when they can get him out with scripted questions. But I think you better be very careful in here about the squad that is bragging. If you don't know this, they do make only $178,000 a year. And if they make it through one full term, they get a $178,000 a year pension. So I urge you to remember who is telling you what to do with your money and where it should belong. Because as for my money, I have not seen Congress do one thing in 3.5 years. Okay, I have not seen Congress do one thing in 3.5 years. And I think you're seeing that the biggest issue here for most is the special interest groups, the lobbyists, and those who got to steal the most other presidents through history, and it doesn't matter left or right, all of them, okay, that party is over, which is why you're seeing so much more disdain for the current guy. In the meantime, again, I think you're looking at a system that is trying to rig it and trying to put you in a position by blasting one side of the media, okay? But of course, their audiences are not as big as their mouths, okay? If you look at the ratings, but in the meantime, I think you're trying, in the media attempt to try to brainwash us to only be on one side. It's like trying to be on one side of the market. And anytime everybody's on one side of a market without an opinion of their own, the markets crash. And don't be surprised if that happens with the government. In the meantime, this is Bubba's Bottom Line. Everybody have a great weekend. As always, I appreciate you being here, spending some time. We'll see you back tomorrow with a Monday's Bubba's Daily Update. In the meantime, enjoy your family, enjoy the friends. Have a nice day. Go play golf. Do something fun. And we'll see you tomorrow. Have a great day, everybody.